Hello, welcome to this channel. My name is Angelica. I don't know if you can see me, but it's sunny, and even if it's spring, you get burned when you're out all day. So I found the beds where I'm gonna plant the potato. So I'm gonna tell you how I'm gonna do it. Here they are. So I'm just gonna remove this plastic, and I'm gonna use it's only gonna be like the fresh potatoes, because in Sweden people really value the first potatoes when they arrive in June. We have a local tradition where we celebrate midsummer in the end of June, and if you can get locally, it's almost impossible to get locally ecological fresh potatoes, so people can pay, I don't know what that, but almost like €4 for a kilo. And so I'm gonna plant probably between, maybe 5 beds of it. Not too much, not for winter potatoes, because when winter comes it's so cheap in the shop and people don't value it anymore. So I'm gonna do it by hand. I'm gonna put them down by hand, and I'm gonna harvest them by hand, wash them by hand, everything. And potatoes, they really love kalium. What is that? No, K in the system. Is that potassium? Please look that up. It's K in the chemical chart. And you can find that in old manure, you can find it in fresh manure, but potatoes, they don't want too much nitrogen, because then the leaves grow so big and it takes such a very long time before you get a lot of potatoes. And so you want a lot of that. You can also find it in ash, like from the wood stove from the winter. So I have a huge pile of old manure. The bad thing about that is that it contains a lot of nettles. I saw the pile last year and it was invaded by enormous nettles. So what happens when I put that manure here? I get a lot of nice potatoes, but I will have so much trouble with the weeds of the nettles. But I don't really have an option right now, and I need to improve the soil here as well. So I have actually quite successful farmed potatoes in this geotextile, like this ones. And I made holes every 30 centimeters. I made hole in 3 rows, but the bed was in 1 meter. I could make 2 rows and 30 centimeters in between the holes. And it's quite easy actually when you harvest them. The holes would be bigger than these ones. These are not that big. I would make the holes almost as big as this one, like it's 15 centimeters. And then when I harvest them from one end, I just lift the plastic and roll it over the leaves, and it's easy. And I don't have to cover the rows, put up more soil on top of them. It's pretty easy, and it covers the bed. But I don't have any extra plastic or that plastic left here, because I put all my plastic in the old field last year, and it turned out that they had the disease with kale. This very severe, with causes clumps in the root system of cabbage. And I don't want to take those plastics over here and infest this land as well. So here are all the plastics. I have a little bit here. I have some extra here. But potatoes in general, they cover up the bed very well pretty soon. And it's fairly easy to to weed them because I can just walk in between and shovel up a lot of soil on the sides. So I'm gonna go down and get some manure and then just put it down there. I'm gonna put the manure first. I'm gonna take wheelbarrows. I probably use quite a lot. Like, it would be some exercise for me because the the pile is behind the forest down there, and this is a slope. Maybe you can't see it, but it's probably like 200 meters to the pile. So I'm gonna have to run up and down with it, and I'm gonna try to make it a fun exercise instead of going to the gym. I'm gonna be exhausted, but that's fine. Yeah, so wish me luck. And then I put it there, and I will rake it out, and then I will broad fork afterwards so that the manure falls down a little bit when I broad fork. And then I'm gonna just use a shovel, and I just like push it down. Okay, I'll show you. Because this is the first potatoes, I harvest the potatoes when they're pretty small, so I put them more close than if you would harvest the winter potatoes, and it's like 30 centimeters. That's so. Can you see? I just like. Okay, it's a little bit tough already, but after I broad fork it, it will be easier. So I just push and put one down. Done. But the thing is, when you broad fork, you don't have to put so much power into putting down the shovel, because when you jump at it with your whole body weight, it's much easier to loosen the soil than like to do this. Like that. You want to have it. I want to put it down pretty deep, because then I don't have to go and put so much soil on top of it later. Yeah, that's it, and then I will update you to see how it goes, how it grows.